We are live on Joy 99.7 FM. Welcome to Geek Squad with your girl Adobea Biritwum. Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN. MTN, everywhere you go. We are in the month of love. February is usually used to celebrate love. And from our conversation last week, we started something on Google. We have not ended our conversation, but we can't continue today. Why? Because upcoming on Friday will be Val's Day. So tonight we want to discuss something very interesting. I want you to get a friend to join you. We are live on YouTube and on Facebook at Joy 99.7 FM. We are also live on X. Our conversation is on how technology is redefining romance or dating in our day and age. I have my guests who will be getting into the conversation. Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN. MTN, everywhere you go. Tonight we're having an interesting conversation about how technology is redefining love, romance in our day and age. I have with me two beautiful ladies and we are going to get into the conversation. The first person is a very personal person. She is in the person of Noelle. Noelle. Aram. Noelle. Aram. Abla. I think the rest of the name I'll allow you.
You will see.
That's fine. Okay. She is a digital media manager and she's joining me for tonight's conversation on how technology is redefining romance. You're welcome, Aram.
Thank you.
I also have with me Mrs. Harriet Osei-Bonsu. She is a relationship coach and then also a fish health pathologist. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Tonight, we just want to talk a lot about technology and how it's really redefining things. As I spoke with MFA earlier, I was just asking about those times when there was call center. Did you experience it, Aram?
Yes.
And how was that?
Not fun. And then the era of cards.
Yes. When
Just imagine you're talking to your boo and then you run out of credit. It's not now that you can just quickly recharge on your phone.
Yeah.
If it's finished on the card, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yeah.
it wasn't good at all.
No.
And then just imagine if your partner lives in a house where they don't have a phone, they have to go and call them from somewhere
Oh yeah.
else.
It was something else. Technology has really done a lot.
Yes,
It
a lot,
has done
a lot.
So I'm going to come to you, Harriet.
Okay.
How we say technology has changed the way people meet and fall in love these days?
Yeah, I think that it has really affected the way people meet and fall in love, and it has actually made it a bit more easier for people to meet because there are a lot of like platforms and media platforms, specifically where people can just. I mean, like for example, with dating apps, people can just go and create profiles, and then put in specifics of what they are looking for and what they want and what they are expecting to see, and then you can filter and then you can meet like lots of people and then make your choice or decision. So I think that it's made a bit more easier than those times. Yeah. I mean, for our fathers, they have to meet you somewhere and see you and stand and then start the combo or whistle, or whistle like that kind of thing. But now it won't work because no.
As you're talking, I just remember some time back, and one of the notions I had was there's no way I want to get married and the man will be asked, how did you meet your wife? And then he will say, oh, we met on Facebook. Like in my mind, how?
Why not?
But now it's really a
yeah,
thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then people are getting married virtually.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, what kind of world are we in now?
Yeah.
So it's really affecting how people are meeting
Yes,
now and falling in love.
Yes.
Everything technology. So you don't mind meeting someone on Facebook or?
I don't mind, to be honest. And when we were having this conversation before the show, and it started over the weekend when I started speaking with the producer, and I was looking at the questions, and I realized that, to be honest, some of my very good friends are people that I've met online.
Yeah, same.
So it doesn't beat it, to be honest, because. And then as we go into the conversation, I mean, we would have those things. But then, like you're saying, in the past, you have to go somewhere, meet someone. I mean, I'm one of those few people that I am not totally closed off to arranged marriages, to be honest, in the sense of if
You think it can still work?
yes,
Yeah.
because for someone who is very tech savvy like me,
Hello.
so I mean, I'm not completely shut off
Okay.
to that idea, but then the emergence of media and the scope and range of it. So you know, in the past, you can know someone, but you've not met them. Now you
Yeah.
can send pictures
Yeah.
instantly. You can FaceTime. You can
Yes.
do WhatsApp video
Video
calls.
calls.
So that instant getting to know, there's that acceleration. There's no need to send letter,
Oh,
text.
don't remind me.
Yes, but in the, I mean, when we start, like, you need to send a love letter
Yeah.
to that school,
Yeah.
and they have to receive it. Then it will
Yeah.
take another time
Time
to.
to
Now,
get a
if you
reply.
don't text me back 5 minutes, it's a problem. So I mean, as we go back and forth, I mean, as
You
we
will
extend the
see
conversation, we'll see the pros and
Yeah.
cons. But
Yeah.
But
yeah.
seriously, talking about letters, I've just remembered how Val's Day was like
Yeah.
Oh,
SHS back then.
Yeah.
my
Oh.
highlight, my best Val's Day was in high school.
Yeah.
This guy sent, he was in Presec. Shout out
Ah,
to them. Sent this giant card
Oh.
with Teddy, like still my. I mean, one of my best Val's Day. I'm not even gonna lie. Like very big card. Oh, I kept that card for years.
Oh my God.
And then there was a boy between Bihelko that used to like me to used to send me a lot of cards.
Oh my God,
Interesting.
yeah.
Oh.
Interesting. But all that have changed now.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
They still do it, but I think that it has evolved a bit
Yeah.
because now they would want to do more like digital stuff than
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Talking about the digital stuff, I remember how we used to do e-cards back then too.
Yeah.
When emails
Oh,
were
yeah.
a
Open
thing.
it and then
Yeah.
it'll pop up.
Ah,
See, the guy did a whole song. He sent me a CD with.
oh my God.
Yo, it was a serious thing. Oh.
Interesting. So it means he was somehow interested in you.
Yes.
So now let's talk about dating apps here in Ghana.
Yeah.
And I mean the kind of role that they are playing in relationships. People who would want to meet.
Yeah, I think dating apps, I mean, and it's interesting that when we're listening to the social trends, right, Tinder came up. I would not advise to do Tinder in Ghana. It's a terrible idea. I thought I deleted my profile, but I'm not sure. But for full disclaimer, I have only signed up for one dating app, which was Bumblebee,
Okay.
which wasn't bad. And interesting, I saw most of my friends there.
Mm.
Someone was
People you already
married.
knew.
Yes.
They had all signed up.
They were on Bumblebee. I was like, what? And so, I mean, I've met people I know, and I met some people, but I think with time I was like, I don't know if this is
You
for
want
me.
to
If
continue with
if
that?
this is honestly for me, right? Because with the thing that in the social trends we had, I mean, now they are upscaling in
Yeah.
terms of
Yeah.
putting in what you do, but then there's also the experience of people saying they are something that they are not
Yeah.
on
Exactly.
dating apps.
Yeah.
So you can say I'll match with this person based
Yeah.
on their profile type, but then you meet them in person and the
No.
values are not aligning.
Yeah.
So I feel like even though I think what media has done or digital trends have done is help us connect,
Yeah.
but then the fundamental are still traditional.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
values might
Yeah.
align. Digital
Yeah.
is not going to help your values
No, no,
align.
no.
So how you meet the person, I think what media or digital has done for us is accelerate
Creating
how
them.
we meet people.
Yeah,
But the
creating them.
traditional
Made it a lot
values are
easier to
still
understand.
the same.
That one
Yeah.
still definitely remains
Yeah.
the same.
And just to add to
Yeah.
what she said, I think that I think in Ghana it's a bit more difficult because we have other platforms of meeting people aside like the dating apps. I mean, we do a lot of social gatherings.
Exactly.
So we have like churches, we have wedding receptions, we have the funerals. Yay, So we don't really take the dating app thing too serious. It's like people go and sign up for it, and some people are really not looking for love. They just want to come and play.
That's the
But
whole point.
I have a story. In fact, so I'll just make it quick. Like how I joined Bumblebee. I had a friend of mine. Oh, that girl. And she told me about the app, and she said the only reason why. So she comes to Ghana and then she goes. She comes to English. It's
Okay.
like when she's in Ghana, and she wants to meet people. She uses the app, and she just goes out with people just to eat.
That's
Oh.
all.
She's not interested in being in a relationship. She just wants
Oh,
to go
wow.
out with these guys, and then she just.
That's no cool.
No, no.
That's what I'm
no.
saying.
So
That
like in
it
Ghana, we really
accelerates
joke
the
with
process,
it. Like,
and that's why I'm like, don't even try Tinder. And you know how things are created, and then some way somehow people end up ruining it. Now people are using these things for hookup and all kinds of stuff. So it's like the fundamentals will expose you. So it doesn't really matter where you meet people. And let's not even say that it's not like if you meet the person in a church, they are even much better. You will probably find love better on Facebook than if you meet that guy at a church, right? So in as much as these things accelerate and help with communication, which we will go into, the fundamental beliefs need to align.
Yeah.
Exactly. The values really need to align.
Yeah.
So coming to you, Harriet, I mean, talking about social media, I think we touched on it and how it's influencing the whole dating idea. Will we say that it's influenced it positively, negatively? How will we say it's really playing a role now?
For me, I think it's doing both, to be honest. Yeah, to be honest, because in terms of in terms of like positive impact that social media is having on relationships, for sure. I mean, apart from the fact that people meet like their spouses on social media, now getting information from social media to help you is easier. Getting counseling, you know, for example, I'm really in love with Reverend Funke. Yeah, and she's in Nigeria. Yeah. But I'm impacted by her ministry through social media. She's a counselor. I follow her a lot and everything. So it's easier to have good information, and it's easier, you know, and the other social media platform where people come and post like their relationship issues and stuff, and then you can actually follow those things and be like, okay, so this is happening to someone. This is the advice they're getting, and then in case you're in similar situation, you can at least learn, you know. But then the negative side is when it's like a bit misleading, you know. Everyone wants to post the good part of their the happy life, and then it creates some impression in the minds of people and put some standard on out there, and then if you cannot fall within that standard, then you feel like you are not ready. Like, for example, like so many trends now, like even before you get married, there are like 3 major trends, like now, you know, the proposal, you know, thingy, and it has to be big, you know, and you have to be surprised, and then you know, and then the pre-wedding shots, and now it's like next level, you know, and all these things are creating pressure, and most of them are also like financially, like, you know, demanding. So if you cannot afford, then you need to wait. And then if you want to be influenced in, like, so I mean, like, people are posting things that do not exist. People would not post when they are being abused, but they will post the other side. And then if you are going through rough times, you feel like maybe the problem is you, you know. So I think it's like both sides. Given the positive part where you are learning a lot from people, you are getting in touch with people who can give you good information. But then the other side is the, you know, the influence, the negative influence, and the pressure, you know, the fake life, and the pressure is bringing on people. So I think it's both sides, to be honest.
If I don't have a ring and dowry is not paid, please don't post me.
I think I was also of that view.
Yeah, that's my basic thing, because you are not about to use me to catch crews on the internet. And I am also very particular about places that I go with with someone I'm talking to with their friends, because Ghana is very small.
It's very
I have also realized that Accra is even smaller. So when it comes to social media, it's don't post me personally.
Actually, it's a conversation we've had here on the show. People taking pictures. Sometimes you could even be in the background.
Exactly. Someone met me and said, "I know you. I'm looking at this guy dead in the. I don't know him." He's getting. I know. He said, "I see you on an NIS snap." How do you know me from seeing me from somebody else's snap? Do you understand? So the moment you are seen somewhere with someone, people assume that something is going on. I can't come and be explaining to the people on the internet what the problem is. Now, if I post, I keep making this joke that the next time I'm in relationship, I'll just post that whose boyfriend is this, so that the glory of us speak now of forever your peace, because I don't want to hear Pim that this guy that is my uncle, cousin
of 5 years.
But no, what you are saying right now,
because Accra is so small. Like, you would think that you've met this guy online, post him and say you will see.
Yeah, he has children.
What's his
There's a story like that.
So like, these things are very key. So that's the positive and the negative aspect, like she rightly said, right? You can use this thing as me when I meet, I'm texting all my friends. Do you know this person? He works here. This, that. I am the bone collector in my friend group, and vice versa.
I think it's good to do background checks.
Yes,
it's
because
really important.
Accra is too small.
Yeah.
So, and people lie
That's so true.
about everything. So you need to make sure that you use social media, quote unquote. And then the people that it's even funny to me is people who post people's body parts.
Oh.
You're in a relationship, they are posting
leg.
hand. Today are posting leg. You will not post this person's face so that we can tell you if this is a community property. You are posting body parts.
You've actually
By the
reminded
time
me.
we see the save the dates,
Oh,
this is my uncle's husband or something. So if it's let's be honest with ourselves.
Yeah.
If you really think that you are in a committed relationship, why are you posting body parts? And they'll say that, if you post his face, people will be interested.
Oh, really?
Why would you can't take an adult? You cannot collect an adult from another person.
No.
If we collect him, it's
He's
because
not
he wants to be collected. Do you understand? So social media can be great, and then it can also be bad. But I think personally, you need to lean into it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
If the goal of you posting your partner is to oppress you, trust me, that person is collectible. People will oppress you by collecting him.
Yeah.
But the truth is, would you want to have information about this person now, or do you want to find out later? Because social media is not all that bad. If I can tell you that this person you're with is somebody else's, wouldn't you want to know then?
Yeah. I would
You
want
want
to be honest.
You really want that.
Yeah.
And I think as we have been talking about this, what has come to my mind is some of the positive side of it, using social media for background checks. Actually,
Perfect.
someone comes into your life, you can just go and check.
Yeah.
Because maybe you post me, right? Everybody knows that. Nobody can claim me. you see, but then some people you claim, like you have like 3 different girlfriends in 3 different regions.
Yeah.
Once you see, just post him. Who owns this guy? Everybody should come and comment. Then we can move.
Yeah.
You can move past that.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are having a conversation on how technology is redefining love and romance in our day and age in Ghana. And for you listening to us, you can send us a message on the WhatsApp number 055 1111997 055 1111997. Has social media influenced relationships positively or negatively? We'd like to hear from you. Send us your message on the WhatsApp number 055 1111997. And also you can share with us, how has technology enhanced your relationship? How has tech enhanced your relationship? So talking about this, I think earlier you mentioned something about people even having virtual weddings.
Yes.
So virtual relationships, will we say that it's something meaningful if we are going to compare it to in-person connection?
Yes, but then I don't think I want to do
Virtual wedding.
no, not a virtual wedding, but I don't think I want to be in a long distance relationship unless we have to. Like, there has to be something
Very
extraordinary.
solid as a
Because
reason.
I've been in one and it didn't really end up really well. Like, and so I don't think that I want to be in another long distance relationship. But these days, technology makes things very easy. FaceTime, video calls.
But it's not the same.
It's
as
not the
being
same, but then
there.
so for me the circumstances has to be very different for me to want to date somebody that lives on another continent.
Yeah.
If that's the plan, then there has to, in between that, there has to be frequent visits. You are coming or I'm coming.
I get you.
Yeah.
But that thing where people do where they've not seen their partner for 5 years, no.
Guys, I'm going to come here. You have personal experience on this.
Exactly. So you know, and the long distance can even be Accra, Kumasi, Accra, no, that's, but we're in the same
they
country.
visit
So,
him, right?
but then there has to be a plan, obviously, because absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah, that's true.
And if your partner may not be on the phone with you, but maybe cuddling with somebody else, unless we're going to set up the video call and be watching each other sleep,
Just go visit him then.
you know, and then you be like,
No, he has to get somebody come or something too.
and somebody, people who are with people who say, show the camera around, I want to see who is in the room.
Please.
I don't have the time and the energy for this. So that's why for me, and so there has to be another level of trust with these things, right? So, like I said, personally, there has to be extenuating circumstances for me to want to be in a long distance relationship.
Got you.
But then the virtual marriage, I don't mind. I mean, if you know some of these things, the cost of traveling back and forth, it depends. And like I said, like for me, the circumstances has to be very dire. Like I can claim my account and buy you a ticket to come for this wedding, but if for shaggy reasons I don't want to do it, then but for me, long distance,
I'd like you to share your experience.
Well, so I was going to say that for sure virtual relationships can also work as much as in person, but it depends on the individuals and the friendship and the kind of relationship they've built before the need for the virtual. Because I mean, if you just met someone online and it's going to be virtual until the marriage, if he comes and the legs you were seeing were not, you know, were enhanced by the camera, it's going to be something else. It's going to be something else, yeah. So I mean, it would work if you have known each other probably for a while. You've built very good friendship, and that friendship has been built on a good foundation, you know, foundation of trust, love, commitment. Like if that has been the foundation, then virtual can work perfectly, because sometimes we are humans. We don't always want to be seeing each other. I mean, we don't always want to be in each other's space. We would want some space to breathe. So sometimes the virtual is not that bad. And in my experience, like Adob's mentioned, like I was married, I am married, and I got an opportunity to go abroad to study. And my husband was in support of it, so I had to go because I mean I also need to advance in my career, and I didn't want it, but it was needed. But then at least for 2 years it has worked, because we already had a good foundation of trust, of good friendship, of consistent communication. So we created time to talk. Even though the time zone difference wasn't like the same, but we created time to talk. We created time to have fun. You know, we had dates online. We watched movies online.
How do people in long distance relationships?
So many things you can do. Yeah. I mean, like she mentioned, I have a friend of mine. They are not even long distance. One lives at Hatch. They don't live somewhere else.
And they short distance.
Yes, but they watch. There are these features. I think on Apple where you can watch a movie together virtually. So people do that. I know someone who did a Valentine's date virtually. Set up the thing. No, abroad. Okay. They set the time. Obviously, the time difference, but they sat and had it out.
We've done.
See that level of commitment.
You know.
It can make it work. But then this one, they will call you, sister. I say, I'm sleeping. I didn't see your missed call. That is a problem. That is going to be a problem. And then one thing that I like that she mentioned is sometimes when the person doesn't live with you, I always say that there's even your blood siblings, sometimes you really just don't want them to get out of your face, for lack of a better word, right? Now you are getting to know this person for years virtually, never spending time together, and you marry them. You will now be saying all kinds of things. You'll be like, that's this person.
I mean, the people you know physically.
You know? So that is the risk for it with me. Like, we need to spend some time together before we get married, because I don't know about just seeing you on the internet all this while then becoming your wife.
So you said one of the ways they can keep intimacy. You mentioned dates. I think what you mentioned was watching the movie.
We did watch movies.
You mentioned dates. What are some other things also?
I mean, now they are, even in terms of like being, you know, sexually intimate. I mean, it might not be physical, but there are like ways.
I'll leave that to the married people to say that, because,
it's nothing you can.
I'm a child of God.
You know, because I mean, you're humans, and you need that part to be fulfilled also. So you would create, but I mean, you should be careful with the media platform you'd be using, because I mean, it should be encrypted enough that it's just the two of you. You don't have like some third eye somewhere, you know. So there are ways that you could also, like, you know, be intimate but not really intimate, because I mean, everything is from the mind, you know. So you have to, you know, create things that will make it work, because no matter what, the distance is there. So you just have to create fun things, so that things will be still exciting as it was if you were around, you know. So like I said, we did the dinner date, we did the movie, we spent hours on phone talking, you know, and all those things. You just need to be creative, you know, and innovative, like come up with new ideas, things. You can go for walks together, to be honest, like virtual walks together. So he's on the line somewhere, you're also on the line somewhere, you're walking together or jogging together, you know. You just have to be creative, and then the intimacy side too. I mean, you can. It's very, very important.
That's all I got.
The only thing is that as a couple, a married couple, of course, you should make sure that the platform. So I mean, in some cases, I mean, both of you are using iPhone, like the FaceTime, at least you can trust, Snapchat to some extent. So you should be sure that the medium through which you are going to do that will not end up, you will not trend the next day with some,
do
hits.
that only with your husband.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't do that with boyfriend and be
then,
sending any pictures.
And no recording.
Just came to my
Yeah,
mind.
no recording.
I mean,
For me, no
there's
recording.
certain risk I'm not going to take unless there's an NDA signed. Do you understand? Like, there needs to be NDA signed. And I have this one rule: don't mess around with people who have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some people can be very vindictive. You see, this relationship is going nice. One breakup. That's how.
Seen
Yes.
situations
Yeah,
like that here.
Yeah. So
we
for
have.
me,
we have.
like I said, bride price paid. Then at least that one, if I decide to get a divorce or sue you, I can get something out of it. But I'm not about to play with my life by sending anybody.
And for me too, the value I also stand by is that no recording, no sending of news. Because you cannot even trust, now you cannot even trust WhatsApp. If you're sending something through WhatsApp, even though they said it's end-to-end encrypted, you cannot trust. So it's better not to, everything live and then it ends. And no sending
Anything can
and
happen
stuff.
to your device at
anytime recording stuff.
For me, it's really one of the things that I just advise against. If you can,
just
don't send new pictures.
No,
I mean, why are you even taking them in the first place?
Yeah.
You have the mirror to yourself.
Yeah.
Anyway, so with all the discussions that we have had, I think one of the things that I want us to touch on is constant texting, right? And how they affect relationships. We are talking about the good sides. We want to look at how it may affect relationships negatively too, because it's about how tech is redefining relationships, love or romance. So I'm sitting with my spouse or my partner and the constant texting. How does that really
the number one solution to that is boundaries. And then I'll use myself as an example. At 9:30 on every weekday, my phone goes to do not disturb. If I start talking to someone, that's the first thing that I tell them. So if you try to contact me around that time, if I don't pick up or I don't respond, it's not that I'm ignoring you. It might not even come through. And in the morning, it's a personal boundary that I set for myself, right? And I always have this thing that I say, that if you are with me, who else are you talking to? Like, who do you want to be talking to? Especially if you're not a pastor or a doctor or a lawyer, which you see, I don't mess around with any of those people either.
That's what I was going to ask. You don't
like lawyer, like as in what case we can handle that tomorrow. Pastor, people pray. God
pray
is in
for
heaven.
me, pray for me.
Pray for yourself. And then a doctor, I tried, that didn't work. So as I was saying, why are you texting people? And then the worst one is this WhatsApp groups. That they are always sharing some memes and all kinds of things, that the conversations go on and on. But then you need to set a boundary. If you're in a relationship, let's say, I think I'll let her speak to the married people, right? You've been away all day. We've come home. Why are you texting people at 10 o'clock? Like, what's happening?
At 10 o'clock, no.
And then if we're in a relationship, let's say we're all working weekdays, and when we only get time to spend over the weekend, we're spending time over the weekend, and you are texting people and like, what are we doing? That boundary needs to be set between us. What are the boundaries that we set maybe after this time? This is not what we don't do. Because the truth is, if you don't set those boundaries when you're dating, it will become a problem in your marriage. If you have friends who don't have boundaries, who are always texting you, your friends are always calling you at an unknown time, your friend knows that your girlfriend is around and they are still calling you.
Video call.
And they are video calling you. For what? And I'm like, oh, wifey, what are we doing?
Shout out.
Don't shout out me. Why are you calling him?
I get it.
So these are boundaries. And you see, these things, so because I have that personal boundary, it's easier if I'm trying to inculcate that into my relationship, it's easier for that person to accept it than if I also don't have boundaries. Now we're together, we're all texting everybody. Why are we here? We might as well just go home. And it's so bad. You see people on dates.
That's
sitting
really
across
Yeah.
each other,
Yeah,
and they are
texting,
obviously
yeah.
they're not texting each other.
No.
They are texting
No,
other
no.
people. So why are we here?
we don't have any reason to be here.
Why are we here?
But I mean, talking about this, not just about relationships, but even amongst family,
Friends.
friends.
So
Yeah.
with my friends, every time I go out, phones this,
Just
and then you
face
see those
down.
yes, because if I have closed from work, and I have to come and sit here to do dinner or drinks, and we are gonna be on our phone.
I might as well.
Yeah, I
just
can
go.
do
Let's
it in
just
my
go
home.
home.
Yeah.
So those are the things that we need to set, even for us. And I always say that boundaries start with self
Yes.
before you extend it to
Yeah.
other people.
Yeah.
So if you are the kind of person, if you call me, you won't get me. Like, what are we? Unless instead of tomorrow we'll fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you don't have that personal boundary with yourself, and everybody who is in my circle knows, if you call me,
At certain times, you won't get it.
Yeah.
you will not get me. Like, you just kun tomorrow. We'll deal with it.
Good.
On the marriage
Yeah.
people's side.
Yeah, so I think it's the same because it has to be an agreement between the two of you, and then you have to set a time that works for both of you depending on your schedule. So in our case, we know the times that we are both free, and then we know the times that we can be on our phone. If it is important for me, if it's something that I need to answer to, then I need to inform him.
Okay.
You know, you need to get him involved. Like, oh,
Got
this
you.
person, unless it's confidential, unless it's something that somebody's telling you in confidence, you cannot share with him. But
Okay.
if it's something that is general, like, this person texted, he did it. So once he's involved, it's like the three of us are having a conversation.
Got
And
you.
once it's done, it's done.
Yeah.
But if he's not involved and you are doing your thing, he doesn't know what you're doing, and then he's also doing his thing, then it becomes a tradition. It becomes something that you do over and over and over again. And then the unfortunate part is that if you have kids, they look at you. It's like daddy is like, mommy is like,
Talking
and
about that.
just kids are just sitting watching.
Because the last time I was just thinking about it, why is it that we have tablets for kids and yet it's the phones that they are coming to? Because that's what they
Yeah.
watch
Yeah.
the adults
Yeah.
use
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
every time they
Yeah.
are on it. So
Yeah.
why are you giving me a tablet
No,
when
they
you are
want
using
their
the phone? I
because
want the
something
phone.
is more interesting on the phone than the tablet.
We are having a
for sure.
conversation on how technology is redefining romance and love in our day and age. I'm having a conversation with Mrs. Harriet Oseibusu and Noeli Aram. Many things have been shared. We would like to hear from you. You can send us your message on the WhatsApp number 055-1111-997. Also, we'll be opening the phone line. We are opening the phone lines. You can call us. You can share your contribution on the number 0302-216-541. 0302-216-541. How has technology enhanced your relationship? We would like to hear from you. Social media specifically, has it been a positive influence or a negative influence? We would like to hear from you on that. We have some messages. I'll just go through them. This is from Kwame UK. He says, great show tonight. I'm enjoying it. Thank you so much, Kwame. We also have another one. Watching live from countryside. Background check apps are very important, especially getting to know someone on social media. Question: when having a background checkup, does it mean you are digging into the person's life? That's a question.
Yeah.
Yes, you
Yeah.
are.
It's important.
See,
actually.
in the
legit,
past,
yeah.
they'll go to your family and go and find out if they are something.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
You need that background check.
Yeah.
Whatever is in the background, come up.
Seriously, you're talking
Yeah.
about it right now. Just remember the ministerial vetting that was happening and how people's
Yeah,
old
yeah.
posts will just be brought into the conversation. So
Yeah.
at least you get to see sides
Yeah.
of people that you may have not seen physically
Yeah.
through the dating that has happened. Okay, there's also another message from Selassie in Tamale. I think by posting my lady on social media is another way of declaring my assets. Yeah, we have a
course.
support from there. Or a public display of affection. Sometimes it's a way of telling scarecrows to
I mean,
back
do that
off.
after you've paid. Barbara. Just imagine everybody you've dated, you post them.
So that's also
It's
your-
a track. Do you understand? Because
Yeah.
when people keep posting, this person dated this person, now they're dating this person. No. After you've paid the bride price, you can post me.
when it's
But
serious.
yes, but you
When
can't
you save
just
the
be,
date.
yes, but you can't just be posting me casually. Like, no.
Definitely you cannot.
But I
just-
mean, if you just post and then they don't know you're going out, how do people come in with the information for you? Because I mean, you're not being posted, so they don't know if you're together. So if he's with someone else, how do you get that information?
Me, I know people. I know myself. If I'm dating you, whatever is in the background,
Yeah.
will come to the
Yeah,
surface.
for me, I also I don't mind like people posting, but I mean you cannot meet today and then already start posting and start putting comments to show them. I mean it should get to a point. I mean when you're with somebody and it gets to a point where it's serious and it's going to happen, I mean it's going to lead to that part you should know, and then I think that point onwards, it's okay to post just so you have some extra information about the person before they save the date.
Our phone lines are open. You can call in and share with us how technology has enhanced your relationship and the influence of social media, whether positively or negatively. You can call us on the number 0302-216-541. 0302-216-541. I mean, talking about the whole posting of pictures, I remember for me, when I really got into serious relationship, knowing that it was leading to marriage, I wasn't ready at the time to have my pictures posted around.
Okay.
So I actually gave instructions that please don't post me.
Okay.
That was for me. And
Okay.
so save the date. That's what save the date. I've been telling my sister before I knew it was on Facebook. I was like, oh, Jesus.
Save the dates. I mean, and you see, save the dates.
Yeah.
We're about to get married.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, could you? But you see, by the time we get to save the dates, me, I've already done all my vetting.
By all
Okay.
means.
Yes.
Okay.
So
By
I
all
mean,
means.
I really, really don't. And you see, by the time you get to that point, like, I'll speak for myself. I don't think there's something that you're going to find out about me that would require you not to get married to me. I don't know about you, but by the time we get to save the dates, whatever it is I need to know, I would know.
We are all in a good space. We are all in a good space. We're having a conversation on how technology is redefining romance, love, and relationships. This is Geek Squad with your girl Adobea Biritwum. I'm having a conversation with Mrs. Harriet Osei Bunsu and Noeli Aram. We have one message. Elinam Nyamido, listening from Mepe.
Mepe.
Hey, please mention the name.
Mepe.
Mepe.
Okay, Mepe. Interesting. I've given it a different name. I'm really enjoying the program. Thanks for the education. Thank you, Elida. Thank you for that. Now, we all have those days when you are low on everything. Energy, time, cash, and even airtime and data. Well, that's why MTN Extra Time is an airtime and data advanced service that allows you to make calls or browse the internet even when you have insufficient balance. All you have to do is to dial *506#, *506#, go through the prompts and select the amount of airtime or data you need. It's more than simple. Doing your favorite things on MTN means you don't get interrupted, even when you are low on airtime or data. Please remember, all terms and conditions apply. So coming back again to you, my guest, I want to find out something that is really interesting. How can couples being in a relationship or marriage manage jealousy or insecurity caused by social media? Because it's really creating an issue too. How can that be managed?
I would say it's a very serious issue, especially when two people with two different personality types meet. I think that I'm a social butterfly. I thought I was a social butterfly. Then I went to a certain party. Then I realized I was a social dragon. Because
I thought you were going to say
what? No, like, why do I know? And the party was set up in such a way that there was a pathway and it was divided, and I knew people on the left and I knew people on the right. And I was out with one of my girlfriends. She felt so overwhelmed because every time I'm with someone and I meet have to meet this my friend. It's like, why do you know all these people from? So just imagine someone like me, and I end up dating someone that is an introvert. And that's one thing that I super worry about, right? And there was a time I was talking to this guy and we're meeting in public at an event, and I was so scared. And later I was telling him, he said, why? I said, because if there's one thing I was looking forward to, is how that dynamic works. Because I go out and I'm meeting people. And then this guy just be standing here like a buffoon. Right? Meanwhile, people are hugging me. I'm talking to people.
How would you take it?
Yeah.
So and then there are people like me who can be, I'm not loud. So I think I've toned it out as I'm growing older. I am a bit on the populist side on social media. And so every time there's a conversation, you are in there. But if you're dating someone who is on the other side, that can be an issue. But then how do you let these two things merge in the sense that the person feels comfortable? So sometimes when you're with people, when you have a better social life or something that they can feel excluded. So I think that as a partner, the best thing you can do is take them along as much as you can, or they accept you for who you are. And that can be a struggle, because I have met people who want me to tone it down. I'm like, I can't tone it down. That will be a betrayal of self. This is who I am. So if you want to be with me, then you're going to come with being in a relationship. And I went to a wedding and I met a guy, and his wife was like me. She was all over the place at the wedding. The guy was just sitting down. And she told me, watch my husband for me. I'm going here to come
Oh my God.
at the wedding. And so I looked at him and I said, how is it being married to someone like this? Like, as you can see,
Yeah.
fun. After she's tired, she'll just say, let's go home. And I take her home. But everywhere she goes, she brings him along. So he's front and center of what she's doing. So it's not like they're saying that your wife is out here doing the most. I'm out with, but so by the time they text him that he's here with her, yes, I can see her. She's doing the most. And when she's done, I take her back home. But the worst thing you can do, and then I'll let her come in, is when you segregate your partner. So you have this life, and just imagine every time I'm going out with my girls and leaving my husband behind, going out with people and leaving him behind. That is when he was, and it's not even, I won't call it jealous, then that's when the insecurity starts, because you're going out all the time, all these people, talking to all these people, being all this, and you're leaving them behind. It will be a problem. So find a way where you can make your world cooler and take them along the journey. But she's married, so she will have a better life.
For me, I think that one thing that, or maybe two things that really work to reduce this jealousy thing is openness and constant communication. You need to let the person know. I mean, for sure, he would get to know your personality, knows you're a social butterfly. For me, it's the same. I'm like all over the place. I make friends super easy. I post lots of things. And my husband is the opposite. Like, he posts relevant things.
I know, right? I like
He posts relevant things and kingdom-minded things. And I'm posting like the jokes and everything. And I'm the one constantly talking to a lot of people, talking to a lot of boys. But one thing I do is that I tell him about everything. So if someone is even texting me and saying stupid things in quote, he already knows the person. He already knows his personality. He has access to my phones. He can read chats.
I'll come to you right now. We have a caller. Hi, Augustine. Hello, Augustine. Good evening.
Fine evening, madam.
How are you doing? Your name? Sorry, where you're calling from?
Calling from Tamale.
Okay, let's hear from you.
I'm also in relationship with someone lady, 16.
I can barely hear you. If you can just position yourself well.
Okay. Can talk?
Yes, you can go ahead.
Okay. So 16, the lady is in I'm supposed to document. So anytime I tell the lady to come and play to work on that, the lady give me the ST.
I'm struggling to hear you, so please, if you can just position yourself well and call us back, or you can send us a message, that will help. Okay, thank you. Thank you. The conversation has really gotten very interesting. Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN. MTN, everywhere you go. Tonight, our conversation has been on how technology is redefining relationships, romance, and love. I've had with me in the studio two ladies. I have had Mrs. Harriet Osei Bunsu and then also Noeli Aram. And so far, the conversation has been interesting based on what we have shared. In fact, if you have missed from the beginning, no worries. You can watch till the end or listen to the end. And then you can catch the rest on YouTube, Facebook, Ajoy 99.7 FM. So based on what we have discussed, I think because we are getting towards the end, I'd just like us to share how, talking about social media and what it does, couples, and how they have to just, one thing that we have mentioned is setting boundaries is very important, not even just for relationships, even with your family members, friends, and all that is very important. We need to do that. But then how can we balance digital communication with face-to-face interactions with people? Because I mean, looking at the younger ones coming now, it looks like we are losing touch of the physical relationships too.
Yeah.
How can we really get to that place?
There are people who are in the same household and they are texting.
How? I mean, how?
I think it's, what is important to you? And so both parties have to decide what works for them, right?
Yeah.
So, if I like one thing she mentioned earlier, keeping each other in tune with what we're doing, where we are. We are in the era people share locations and all of those things. Just don't be a crazy person like, where are you? What are you doing?
Show video.
But then find a boundary, like a middle ground. If we're in the house, let's try to be in touch, communicate together.
Be present.
Yeah.
Be present, that's the word.
Yeah.
Be present. If I'm talking to you, listen to what I'm saying. Not they're talking to
I'm
you.
hearing. Nothing really.
I'm hearing with my ears.
I don't have to look at you to listen. No, sometimes
Really?
you have to.
I need you to look at me eyeball to eyeball so you can hear what I'm saying. So finding that balance is key.
Yeah.
Find the balance between spending time together in person, and that means the children get to be present. You can't be with your kids and they are playing on their tablets and you two, you are there doing whatever. If they see that the two of you don't communicate, they will also just find their own thing. So find a balance.
It's important.
And I think that the balance should be more tilted to the in-person than the virtual. I mean, if there's no reason for you to be away when you're together, make sure you're spending more personal time with each other than the texting. If, for example, with my husband, if we are with the children, the only time texting comes in is if we want to say something to each other, Then we can't, you don't want them to know. Because now you cannot speak, I don't know which language, maybe tongues. That's what they won't understand. Because now they can understand every language. You change to Ghana, they can understand, they just can't speak. So it's better to just text that, So the only time texting comes in is when you want to say something you don't want to hear. Them to hear, but then at the end of the day, if it's not like that, it should be in person. Sit close, and especially when children are involved, they learn from what they see. So when they are seeing you together all the time, seeing you talk together all the time, sit close, like be affectionate to each other, they learn it. And that's the kind of generation we want to build. We want our children to be affectionate and not too digitized so much that and I love you is just texting, but they don't know how to show love. That's wrong.
That is so wrong. We have another message just before I come to you. Good evening, Adobea. I'm really enjoying the show. Listening from Tema Community 25. This is from Sosu Anthony. Thank you for sharing that. The way the show is going, I wish there's another Val's Day next week or something. Like we'll
be back next year. I was just gonna say that, like she said, spending time, because even me at this my big age, if I'm in the same house with my parents, you will sit at the dining table and eat.
Yeah, that's also a very good habit.
Yeah.
I'm like, why can't I just even
No.
once in a week?
No.
My mother will not agree for you. You will sit down, everybody, and you will eat.
It's important.
It's good.
It's
good.
very important.
It's good.
So just as we are wrapping up, final words. If you have any shout outs, if you want people to reach out to you, anyhow, I'm going to leave you 30 seconds. Share that. Special shout outs. Hey, why?
Special shout outs to all my lovely people. As you people know, I'm the boo of the boo list. No, Valentine's Day is coming on Friday. Surprise me.
Okay. So shout out to my husband, of course, and then my church members and my friends and my loved ones. And I just want to say that relationship is good, it's special, and everyone should carve things that work for them. I mean, you cannot use someone else's relationship as your standard. True. You could learn one or two things from them, but create your own vibe and then let it work for you. Don't get intimidated by what you see on social media, because not all of them is true.
Settings. I know that people actually sometimes pay to get things done. Please don't get intimidated by that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Mrs. Harriet Osebunsu and Noeli. Everyone for joining me this evening. It's been your girl Adobea Biritwum sharing with you. As a very special shout outs to my husband, Stephen Richard Kweku Biritwum. Even as Val's Day is coming, please let's just get ready. And finally, this particular Friday, something special is happening. TAC Rio Board. Special good evening to my pastor, Pastor David Lamte, and his wife, Lady Vida Lamte. God willing, next week we will be back. We are out. Up next is news. Stay tuned.